Hey y'all, it's Shul Creates here. So I'm the kind of person that I am honestly extremely materialistic. I have dumped thousands of dollars into multiple different collections. I collect Dragon Ball SH Figuarts, action figures. I collect vintage Nickelodeon memorabilia. I collect vintage toys. I collect Nickelodeon VHS tapes. I collect all different kinds of stuff, honestly. And I think it's about time that I start showing off my collections. So my idea was that I'm gonna start doing monthly collection reveals on all my new, everything, all the new stuff that I'm picking up, and over time I'll also be showing you everything I already own. All my collections I have. So yeah, let's get started. Okay, so first up here, I got something really cool. This is something I have wanted, honestly, since I was little. They released an Irwin Toys version back in the day, but, in modern times with modern figure technology, that's just not going to cut it. And what we got here is a third party company, Fantasy Jewel. We got the Red Ribbon Robot. Now, this is a real big figure. It goes at about a foot tall. Um, and the paint detailing on this guy is honestly just immaculate. I'm really happy to finally have this in my collection. It is a fully articulated action figure, unlike the Jack Stowe version. As you can see here, we got all kinds of joints and movement on this guy. The helmet opens up. Unfortunately, it was advertised with the staff officer black figure in there, and it doesn't come with that, and that's kind of a real big letdown. But I mean, besides that, I honestly don't have any major complaints over this guy. I'm super excited to finally have one of these in my collection, and it's gonna go a long way towards helping build a fully complete Dragon Ball collection. So up next here, I got something else pretty cool. I got another SH Figuarts styled Dragon Ball figure. This one is not really that similar to an SH Figuarts, but it's from another one of these third party companies. This one is from All Fun Toys, and here we got Chao Jinglong, or Omega Shenron from Dragon Ball GT. Now this guy looks more like a Digimon character than a Dragon Ball character, but I'm pretty excited to have it nonetheless. I'm kind of disappointed with the overall quality of the actual figure here. It's very unlike an SH Figuarts in its overall construction. It feels just the plastic is very cheap feeling. The articulation, I don't know if you can see that here, but like there's just absolutely no like knees and elbows. It's these huge cutout gaps. They're hideous. Uh, One thing that's really cool about it, they did the articulation in the back here, and that's something pretty different. But I mean, overall, it's something that's going to look really cool on a shelf, but it doesn't really compete with the quality of actual figures that you're going to get. And I'm kind of disappointed that I bought this because they just revealed the Super 17, and I feel like if they're going to be making him, they're definitely going to be making this guy. And that's I'm kind of regret buying this. I don't think anybody's gonna be buying it for me either. So I'm just kind of stuck with it. But it is what it is. You win some, you lose some. All right, so next here we got something that's really cool. I got a set of custom VHS tapes. Now these are from, you can see there, Valishard Toys and Tapes, Valishard Videotapes, whatever he calls himself now. I've gotten a whole bunch of these custom tapes from him over the past couple years, and I'm trying to basically fill out my Cartoon Network and Nickelodeon VHS collection with all the stuff that was never released. I also make custom tapes myself, but nonetheless, let's just take a look at these. Right here we got Home Movies Season 2. Now, this show I haven't seen since I was a small child. I know this was known for it having like really dry humor. A lot of the comedy in this show came from the characters just kind of talking back and forth at each other in real monotone, tones of voice. And I definitely need to come back and revisit this show, and that's part of why I got these tapes. I want to watch it again, and they're gonna be part of the Adult Swim VHS collection that I got going on here. Next here we have season one of the same show, home movies again. The show is definitely a classic. Like I said, I haven't seen it in a long time. These tapes are really high quality. They definitely look like just like something that would have been on a shelf back in the day. They look like they're official releases, and that's what I love about them the most. That's also what I go for in my work. Next here we got Robot Chicken. I believe this is season one. He did something a little different with this one. He did like a selections type label on this one, which I haven't seen him do before, but that's pretty cool nonetheless. Uh, I'm sure this has all of season one. What I found cool about Robot Chicken is that I always thought that they made all these models originally, but they actually use real toys on that show and modify them, and that's something I thought was really cool. Up next here, we got another Adult Swim show. We have The Eric Andre Show, Season 1. And I mean, if you know about this show. I mean, there is absolutely no other network that The Eric Andre Show could have possibly aired on besides Adult Swim. The show is absolutely ridiculous. It often borders on, the concept of what a TV show even is. I certainly wouldn't. I don't know if I'd want to be a guest on this show or not. It always feels strange to me in these later seasons. I feel like earlier on, people, they went on that show and they probably wouldn't have known what to expect. But, these people, they get invited on, season 5 and 6, they should be expecting this dude at this point to possibly get butt naked. You don't ever know what Eric Andre is going to do. And that's one of the things I love about that show the most. It stays getting me dying laughing. I love the Eric Andre show. And last here we got Chowder Season 2. Now this to me is easily one of the funniest Cartoon Network cartoons that ever was on the air. The meta humor in this show just goes beyond, above and beyond. That episode where they literally lose the animation and you see the live action actors and they have to do a car wash to get the animation back. Like, Chowder was just different. This show hit different. For me at the time, Cartoon Network has kind of always had like two sister shows paired up together for the time. And for me, it was like Flapjack and Chowder. Then it was kind of Adventure Time and Regular Show were the next two biggest ones. But yeah, regardless, I'm happy to have this next season in my collection. I think I only need one more season of Chowder, and yeah, I'm just really happy to have some more custom tapes in my collection, and I'll definitely be getting more of these in the future. Okay, so up next here, this is the first of a few Beavis and Butthead items I got recently. I've been on a Beavis and Butthead kick. I've been making custom VHS tapes of the 2022 season, and yeah, whenever a new season of a show comes out, I get kind of caught up and real obsessed with it. I start researching a bunch about it, and that happened with me and Beavis and Butthead recently. But here we have a bootleg copy of the entire original series. Now, obviously, you can go to Walmart, whatever. You can pick up the quote unquote Beavis and Butthead complete collection, but that is not nearly complete. There is tons of episodes that are missing out of it. There's tons of censorship in it. A lot of those early episodes were really crude, and if you want to get the entire series with all the music videos, everything included, the only way you can possibly do that is to pick up this bootleg King Turd collection set. Now, there's two versions of this. There used to be like a version of the King Turd collection that came on like 20 DVDs or something. It was all the DVDs had custom art on them. As you can see, these are just generic. These have like half of the entire series on one disc and then half of the entire series on another. The main menus are just like generic Windows Movie Maker type menus. I unfortunately ended up with the shittier version of the set. The nicer version would have taken up a lot more space on a shelf, but, it would have been a nice trade-off. But, I'm happy to have this series regardless. You can't get it any other way in its entirety. And, yeah, I'm just happy to have Beavis and Butthead. This show hits different. Okay, so next up here, like I said, I have another Beavis and Butthead item. Now, these are really cool. These are a set of pull string dolls with quotes from Jack's Pacific. Now, I thought it was kind of weird that Jack's Pacific got the license to make Beavis and Butthead's merchandise because they typically only deal with, children's related franchises. But, regardless, I'm happy that they got the license because these honestly came out beautifully. I think the only other pull string dolls of Beavis and Butthead that were ever released, now I could be wrong, there's tons of Beavis and Butthead merchandise from over the years, but I think the only other ones were released in like early 1993 or something when the show originally came out. They didn't have plastic heads like this. They had just like the standard plush heads. And what's cool about these ones is that because the kid that burned his house down back in the day, the word fire was banned in the Beavis and Butthead show, so it wasn't really used in any of the merchandise. So this is the first Beavis ever that actually says fire. Now, what I love about these guys the most is honestly just the plastic head sculpts on these guys. Beavis and Butthead have super iconic, unique designs to them, and they often just don't translate very well to 3D space. And I honestly think that Jack's Pacific, they really nailed the head sculpts on these guys. These are exactly what I would picture Beavis and Butthead looking like in a 3D space. My only real big complaints with these guys is that I don't really like this like Funko Pop style packaging they have on the sides of the box here. It's these like really plain, ugly illustrations of the characters that were just thrown together in Adobe Illustrator very quickly, obviously. They just look very low effort and they don't really reflect any Beavis and Butthead branding packaging that I've seen in the past. But, besides that, and I also don't like that the shirts here, they're completely plain. They don't even have like the made up band names on them. They don't say Skull and Death Rock. Obviously you're not going to expect them to say AC/DC and Metallica, but it would be nice regardless if they said anything on them. But yeah, these have 14 quotes each. I'm really happy to have them in my collection, and yeah. Okay, so next up here, like I said, I have yet another Beavis and Butthead item. Now, this is something I was pretty excited to get in the mail. This is a vintage Beavis and Butthead telephone. It's a fully functional phone. It has the whatever I forget what the port is called. I haven't used a handset in years, but the internet port, whatever it is, you plug into a phone and it works perfectly. What I was upset about with this is that there's no like special electronic function with it. It doesn't have like a special Beavis and Butthead themed ringtone, but regardless, it's a really beautiful, cool piece. The picture on the front here is based off that Stewart's house episode where you see them in through the eye hole of his doorbell, and they kind of break into his house and fuck shit up. But yeah, this is a really beautiful piece. The art on the box here is really nice. I love when they put different stuff in like the Beavis and Butthead styled font here. I'm not going to take it out of the box because you can pretty much see what it looks like from right here on the front. But yeah, I did make the wrong choice buying this. I had a choice between this and a singing chef clock that sang the Making Love song, and I should have bought the chef clock. That was so much cooler, probably one of the coolest pieces of South Park merchandise that's ever been released, but I bought this instead, and I do love this. It is a cool addition to my collection regardless. I'm happy I have it. Okay, so up next here, I got one more Beavis and Butthead item that I picked up recently, and this is a lot of the vintage Beavis and Butthead comics published by Marvel. Now this first one here, it actually came with two different variants of it. The first one here, has like a more muted color scheme, and then the one on the flip side here, it's more saturated. You can see like the glove there is obviously a lot more red. But I got this lot for a really good price. I think I got them for about $50 or so, and I think I have like 15 of them something here. But just take a look at all these covers here. Got Butthead there dead. Beavis obviously thinks that's cool. They don't ever really give a shit about each other. You can see them just fucking with Mr. Tom Anderson, that's like they always do. They're constantly fucking his life all up. Here you can see them, dressed as hippies, trying to get free love, free sex. They're always trying to, score, have sex, and I doubt it'll ever happen. On this next one, you can see Butthead trying to unclog Beavis out of a toilet, which, obviously is a scenario only these two idiots could possibly get into. I mean, come on now. This is a funny one. I can see them easily wanting to take jobs as lifeguards, trying to score on chicks, see all the chicks that are walking down on the beach, but obviously the second somebody actually drowned, they would fail at their jobs. They'd probably let that person die. They'd think it was funny. And yeah, that's just Beavis and Butthead for you. I mean, on this next one here, you can see them dressed as angels, once again, probably trying to get this chick to score with them. That's what they're always up to, constantly just trying to get their dicks wet. And on this one, you can see them playing around in the snow, making a snow wall. They're making a snow woman. They're putting some tits on it. That's pretty funny. This one I really like. This is a Christmas themed one. The thing that's really different about these covers that differs from like the art you see on the VHS tapes and whatnot is that you can see that these use heavy shading, gradients, and that's just not something you really see typically in any Beavis and Butthead art. It's usually flat colors and flat shading. But I love the art on these regardless. You can see Tom Anderson there in the background. Something bad is probably gonna happen to him. Oh, this is a great one. On this next one, you can see them dressed up as pilgrims, and they're about to roast Stuart, have him for dinner. Obviously they're constantly fucking with Stuart. He just wants to be their friend, and yeah, they certainly take advantage of it. Then you can see them dressed up on Halloween. Now, this reminds me of the Halloween episode. Obviously, I'm sure it's not as funny as that. These comics, the storytelling in them, I love the art on these covers. That's mainly why I bought these. But the actual storytelling in these comics is very off from the show. It's very like drawn out. They use way too much dialogue. They talk too much. They use words that are too big for Beavis and Butthead. I got a few more here. Uh, you can see them on a couch once again and probably just trying to score with some chicks that want nothing to do with them. You can see here again another example of them using heavy shading and gradients in this cover art. I'm not sure exactly who made these. A guy named Rick Parker. You can see the signature down in the left corner there. Got another one here where Beavis is on a target practice board, and yeah, he's definitely about to get fucked up. This is definitely something that Butthead would do. He's not aiming anywhere near the apple. He probably would just shoot it right into his face or to his dick or something. This is a cool one. They're underwater. The green color of their skin makes them kind of look like some type of sea creatures, sea people, and they're definitely trying to peep on this woman once again. They got a fake shark fin nailed to a board there, which is just ridiculous. In this one, they appear to be trying to participate in some kind of track meet, which, is not something they would ever be successful at. These got to be the least athletic motherfuckers on the planet. I mean, yeah, Beavis and Butthead trying to do sports would not go well. Up next here, you got them just cradled in this woman's tits. This is not something that would ever happen to these characters in the show, but just the expressions on their faces, regardless, is absolutely hilarious. And then in this last one, you got them. They're they got to be the worst motherfuckers at their jobs on the planet. I've never been able to understand why they weren't fired in the show. Why, why this guy keeps them working at Burger World when they literally serve people just what was it, French fries in the one episode. They're constantly causing work hazards, constantly just trying to tank that business, and it's a mystery why they're able to keep their jobs. And last up here, I have a couple of vintage Nickelodeon print ads. Now, these are both the pre-Orange Splat era of Nickelodeon. These are from the Silver Ball era of Nickelodeon before they were, became widely successful. This is the era that You Can't Do That on Television came out of. The end of like the Cy Schneider era and beginning of the Geraldine Laybourne era. Let's just take a quicker look at these real quick. So, first, this first one here, you can see at the bottom, we have the old Nickelodeon logo with all the bubble letter, and then on the back, you can see that logo in the full color with the silver ball, and that's why this is called the Silver Ball era of Nickelodeon. If you go back and watch the commercials, it was heavily featured in all their on-air branding. But, you open this up here, and what we have here is basically like a description of the channel, what was going on at the time. And then on the left here, we have pictures of the shows. You have a picture from You Can't Do That on Television, one of the cast members. You have two of the puppets from Pinwheel. On the left here, you have more information about Nickelodeon at the time, and then on the right, you have a cast member from Special Delivery and another one of the puppets from Pinwheel. Pinwheel was very popular on Nickelodeon at the time. It was their first show, and it is mainly what they started out airing. It's kind of like a discount bootleg Muppets in a way, but not really. It's, definitely stands on its own. Uh, Now, here on the left, you have descriptions of the shows, what each individual show was about, just a quick overview. And then on the right, you have a picture of some of the cast members from Studio C and some of the cast members from Kids' Rights. On the left here, you have like a nice little picture of Nickelodeon Livewire. Now, I do have, was it from Live? No, I have a jacket, not from Livewire. I saw a Livewire shirt on eBay. I have a jacket from Nick Rock's Video to Go with like the, rainbow bubble letter on it and, silver ball era type branding on it. It's a really beautiful piece. But on the right here, you have just more descriptions of some of the shows on the network. Studio C, You Can't Do That on Television, Livewire, and Tomorrow People. And then in the last page here, you have a picture of Reggie Jackson from Reggie Jackson's World of Sports. Adventures of Black Beauty. In Nickelodeon's early days, they were mainly known for, besides Pinwheel, they aired a lot of like syndicated, like adventure type shows of kids and animals going on adventures out in the countryside, that type of stuff. A lot of reused content from older TV content basically that they were able to license for cheap. And then, you already saw that on the back. But yeah, that's just, that's a little promotional pamphlet from the Silver Ball era. And then on the left here, we have, now this is a tri-fold brochure. This is a really beautiful piece. This folds out into three. And then on the first side here, you can see an advertisement for a lot of just vintage Nickelodeon merchandise that was available at the time, and it is honestly surprising to me that they even had this much. Now this stuff was available for a sweepstakes, and you can see that the era that this was from, they're advertising like an Atari 2600, 5200, whichever damn Atari that is. But yeah, in the middle here, it's just advertising the cash prize, $10,000, which would have been, a lot of money in the late 70s, early 80s. And then on the right here, you can see it's just an overview of a lot of the shows that were on the network at the time. Kids Right's going great, Live Wire, Reggie Jackson's World of Sports. You have some pictures of the shows. Uh, but the really beautiful part of this advertisement is on the flip side. That's upside down. We're going to flip this over, and you can see it is just this absolutely beautiful, giant, just cast photo member. It's just a bunch of characters that were on Nickelodeon at the time from all their various shows, and it is just honestly a beautiful piece. I can't believe that there's a piece of merchandise that features this many characters from the original set of Nickelodeon shows. I was looking into getting this signed by George James, who played Jake in Pinwheel. He was the main cast member in Pinwheel. He made up all the songs. He was the main presence on that show. And if I could get this signed by him, that would honestly make it completely priceless to me. This is just a beautiful piece of early Nickelodeon merchandise. I'm super excited to have this in my collection, and I cannot believe. And that's going to do it for today's collection update. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Let's talk below. What did you think about the items that I opened? Do you have any of this stuff yourself? What would you like to see me maybe open in the future? Let's talk about it. I'll see you guys next time.